Going. Check 1, 2. I see levels. I hear levels. We have levels. Even your mic's picking me up a little bit. How about that? That's how we roll. That deep voice just kind of carries through the room. Got the goat over my shoulder for U.S. hockey. We got the goat jersey over this shoulder. Got a Nick goat right there.
Got Bulls goat there.
Got a Bulls goat over there. We got the TV sports goat for baseball right over Eric's head.
We got all sorts of goats.
We got some goats. We got some goats.
Bah.
And you could barely. You got me with that. I was not ready for that at all. Oh my God. So me and Erich, for the little, YouTube that's with us before we really dive into everything.
Yeah, I'm ready to hit some music.
Me and Erich are currently wearing shorts right now and could not be happier about it. 83 degrees was I think we had 83 today. And yeah, it's gonna suck though in tomorrow morning and the next couple days after having this. What up, Carl? And Carl Sr. See, I've learned my lesson. I'm on top of this stuff now. Now I know who's who. I know what to pay attention to.
Is that my phone or your phone?
Oh no, I gotta lower the volume on mine.
Okay, because I'm hearing feedback, but I didn't know if it was from the mics. I didn't know if it was from like the audio's over, or if it was from your phone.
I usually remember, but you made a goat sound, and it just completely threw me off. But we're up to 4 in the chat, so thank you to the Carls that are in there, and whoever else is in there with us right now. We appreciate y'all.
Shout out.
Like, share, subscribe, follow.
Please do all those free fun things for us.
They're free. They're easy, and it helps us out, right? But I think
we're ready to go.
I think we're good to go, right? Yeah,
we're good to go.
Rock and roll. Playoffs.
Nope, that's not it. Wait.
Nope.
Here we go.
Yeah, we've been doing this once a week, every week for 2 years, but gotta remember what button to hit.
It's good to be back.
Put my white ass knees. Look at these.
Yeah, mine aren't as white though, but I was in Florida for about a month.
Yeah,
so
I know. I'm very happy.
It was.
That you were in Florida.
I still got color on my legs.
Yeah,
I feel good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I look like a pearl next to your legs. So we're gonna keep them out of the camera. I'm not trying to blind anybody here, so we'll do that.
We are not. But since we have Carl and Carl Jr. in the chat with us, I'm gonna start in a place where we normally don't start.
All right, let's do it.
So normally we would start with topics of the day, whatever. But I think the biggest topic of the day and the biggest topic of the week for me personally.
Okay.
Now, probably not for you, Dave, and I get this, but you're gonna still have a say in this regardless. So I'm starting with baseball today, and I'm starting with the passing of one Mr. John Sterling, who, I mean, honestly, he is baseball to me. And like growing up, I've listened to John Sterling on the radio since the mid-90s when I was probably 9, 10 years old. Well, I mean, I was 12 years old in the 96 World Series when he called, so I mean, like, I've been listening to this guy for so long and calls so many iconic Yankee moments that I can recall in my head. And his passing is just one of those things that you're just not going to find people like that anymore. You don't find broadcasters like him anymore. He was a different breed. He was a different type of person. When you listen to John Sterling, he wasn't like listening to most other announcers out there calling a game. He had weird anecdotes and told silly stories. He kind of like, and the way I heard Michael Kay and the way I heard other people talk about him was he always wanted to make the booth feel like a party. Like you were invited, like you were coming in. Oh, who's coming in next? Who's going to be here next? Like he wanted to make it seem like it was the place to be. And, his calls embodied that, in my opinion. Like, his home run calls were iconic. And I actually watched recently he did a center stage with Michael Kay on the Yes Network. And Michael asked him about that, of like the home run call. How'd you come up with it and that kind of thing? And it actually came about from basketball.
Oh,
So,
okay.
well, what he said was he was calling net games in the like late 80s. And he, like Bernard King,
Yeah.
was a guy who was one of the star players on that team. And at the time, a lot of the other players referred to him as BB because of BB King. So he would just like, and I forget some of the things, but he started like using words as like he would go up for a dunk or like Dominique is magnifique or like these kind of things. So as he's calling an NBA game, it kind of started there. And then from there, it grew to, I think he said his first baseball one, and then where it took off from there with baseball was Burn, Baby, Burn. And I remember that with Bernie Williams. Specifically remember that.
Yeah.
And those are things to me that are like core memories as a fan.
Yeah.
That you have that like tie you to that fandom. And John was just one of those guys for Yankee fans. So I get it that you're not a Yankee fan. But from your perspective, as a guy who's just been in the New York area for your entire life, there's no chance you haven't heard John Sterling. There's no chance you haven't heard John Sterling's calls. So even as just the casual fan that I know you are, my friend, hearing the passing of a guy like that and just knowing that you're never going to hear one of those calls again, does it affect you as a sports fan? Because to me, even if you're not a Yankee fan, I feel like this has got to affect you in some way. It's almost like when the Dodgers had Vin Scully pass. Like, it's that kind of moment. Or like, you know, so I'm going to throw it to you now, but like, give me, you got any feelings on John Sterling? Or is it just one of those?
I mean, you know, it's
sad, obviously.
yeah,
so
like
we're going to get past this.
Yeah, like I don't think I can do like right? Like I don't think that's right to say, right? You know, a person that was beloved by you know, family, friends, and you know, obviously thousands and thousands, if not millions of Yankee fans, you know, not only in our local area, right, but I'm sure around the country and around the world, right?
I'd love to hear from Carl's too, if they have any opinions on John Sterling.
Yeah, I think what I would just say is that the impact for me was the amount of people that I know, right, that are impacted by this, right? Like I think that's
like, I'm sure Joey's got to have some opinions on it. And so, because again, he's another guy that I thought of when this happened that I'm like, man, that sucks. Because I'm sure Joey's still a guy, he spends a bunch of time in his car, like still listens to the radio, I'm sure. And, you know, I know he doesn't have John to listen to anymore, but I know he listened to John forever.
I'm sure he's listened to John for more time than we can count. And I think that's the impact for me, is more like, I know this was an important person. You know, obviously, like, you know, it's not like your uncle, right? Like, it's not like, you know, it's not family, but like, this is somebody that.
But it's somebody you probably listen to as much as you listen to any uncle or family member.
And you got to remember, too, right? Like, it's not like baseball is, you know, like football where it's once a week for 17 weeks and you're done, right? Like, you're talking from late March all the way through middle to late October, right? You're listening to this guy, right?
6 months out of the year, you're listening to him almost daily.
Yeah, so almost like there's a family level of a connection to him because he's part of your daily life. So, yeah, it sucks, right? And like, to your point, right, with Vin Scully, like it's just one of those things that they're part of the team. Even though they never played for the team, right? They're not rocking the jersey and, you know, out there fielding balls and you know, taking batting practice. But from a fan's perspective, they might be more part of the team than any player you've ever watched, right? Because the players come and go. Managers come and go, right? Like, this guy's been there.
George, actually, I heard a story about that, about him and John. And John was apparently, like, I'm not sure if he was on the radio or TV or something. He kind of ripped into the Yankees at the time. Like, pretty much like saying, like, you know, they weren't playing hard, weren't doing this, that. Kind of ripped into the team. And thought he was going to hear some ish for it. So he's, you know, walking through, I think he was in Milwaukee or something, was walking through the stadium during like a rain delay or something, was, you know, walking through the
corridor,
you know, and saw Steinbrenner sitting there. Steinbrenner pulled him in for a second. He's like, I just want you to know, you're always going to be the Yankee announcer. And if anybody tries to take you out of that role, I'm going to veto it. And you're the guy. Like, and this was right. And he knows that George listened to what he said. So he goes, that just told me that, you know, he respected me.
The respect,
you know,
there,
but George was that kind of guy. And he kept John around forever. And loyalty says something, and John was he called some of the biggest, most iconic Yankee moments out there. Especially of the last 70 years.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Like, I was gonna say, right? Like, so if he was calling the World Series in '96, right? Then, I mean, the crazy Jeter play that everybody, baseball fan or not, everybody knows the Jeter play, right? Like the
countless home run calls.
Yeah. How was this home run? It's high. It's long.
No, it's high. It is far. It is gone.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's how I was like, wait, I think I know this, but. Carl Senior mentioned that he actually met him at a card show once and was a very nice guy. Which from everything you hear people talking about him, I can't act like I'm surprised in any form or fashion that he was a nice guy. But it sucks, man, right? And I think as a Yankee fan, a Yankee player, current or former, a Yankee administrator, right? You could just be somebody that does ticket sales. You probably have some type of fond memory of him, and I'm sorry, to all of those affected by his passing, and God willing, he's in a better place. It sucks, right? People dying in general just sucks, but when it's somebody that's been a part of your life for such an extended period of time, it really hits home. And so my thoughts are out to everybody and anybody impacted by it. And if you're a Yankee, are the Yankees? Do you know if the Yankees are going to do anything for him?
So they already did on the back of their hats. They're wearing it has JS on the back of their hats for tonight, and they are doing so. I imagine they're going to do something at the stadium for whether it be a John Sterling Day or something. But one other thing that bothers me, bringing it back to the sports world, bringing it back to something that I know bothers you too. The Hall of Fame. This man should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Like, he should be in there as an announcer.
Yeah, why?
The fact that he's not bothers me. Because the fact that they're talking about doing it now, you're doing it after the fact. It's the same thing with Pete Rose. It's the same thing. Like, why are you gatekeeping this kind of, like, the guy's iconic. Known around the country, if not the world, for with the popularity of the Yankees. His calls are absolutely iconic. And you wait until after the man dies at almost I think he's almost like 90 years old. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm asking you to induct a guy 10 years after his career started.
Yeah.
Been at this a long time. There's some longevity here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is where, to me, it bothers me because why can we not celebrate these people while they're here? Why do we only
let them be able to enjoy the moment?
Exactly, and enjoy the moment. Why does it just have to be after the fact?
I like that idea. Shout out to Carl Senior saying they should name the broadcasting booth in his honor. I mean, I feel like that's such an easy thing to do, right? And what kind of pushback are you going to get from people on that one? And I don't know if you know this or Carl, if you guys know this, but is the Yankees broadcasting booth already named after anything or anyone?
I don't think so. So there's a possibility.
I mean that would be a nice simple
thing. Radio.
Oh, you're trying to get to?
Yeah, I got some Yankee calls here.
Stepping up to the microphone is the voice of the New York Yankees. Here is John Sterling.
Well, Susan, I thank you. 1-0 Seattle, bottom of the 8th. 1 out, no one on. Here's Bernie. It'll be a 3-2. Swung on and hit high in the air to deep right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Yeah, I've listened to him on the radio a couple times.
He drills a home run the short way in the right field seats. Burn, baby, burn.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just iconic. You just don't hear calls like that.
Tied at 1.
You don't hear a lot of people giving that pizzazz.
2 away. The Yankees down to their last out. And here's Tino. 1 on, 2 out. Pitch is swung on and drilled.
And really quick before we get in trouble, shout out to New York Post Sports. This is their video on YouTube. John Sterling's top 10 Yankees home run calls. I mean, we're far from big enough that I think the New York Post would care about us, but just want to make sure we cover our bases here. This is not our video.
Tie the game at 3. Posada is the base runner, so Broch is, of course, the tying run.
Thankfully, we're not taking anything
with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Now Kim, 1-0. Swung on and hit in the air to deep left. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. I don't believe it. once again, deja vu, a 2-out, game-tying 2-run home run by Scott Brocious.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that
The
name
most
forever. Scott Brocious,
unbelievable
Jesus
feat
Christ.
in World
That's how long
Series
he's
That's what I
been
said, like late 90s?
Swung on, hit in the air to deep center. Pierre back, way back in deep center. It is gone. Godzilla.
Godzilla.
The Thriller by Godzilla.
The Thriller by
Hideki
Godzilla.
Matsui, the Sayonara Kid, just
The
lost one
Sayonara.
over the center field fence.
Mattingly swings and he has a drive to deep right center. It is high, it is far, it is gone. Back to back, Nina belly to belly. John Mattingly
Belly to
over
belly.
the right
What's crazy though is like
and they
seeing some of these highlights. I'm literally having flashbacks. Like I wasn't sitting there watching, but my dad is a huge Yankees fan.
Core memories, right?
Yeah,
Where
like,
you're
just
just like, you
coming
don't
out.
even realize
Yeah.
it, but it comes on and you're like, shit, I remember that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
He's done it. A long high drive
That
down the
A-Rod?
left field line,
An A-Rod.
just there for a
Yeah.
3-run home run. Alex Rodriguez has made Major League Baseball history,
That was when he broke
the
the
youngest
home run
player
record.
ever to hit 500 home runs.
wow,
An
okay.
A-bomb from A-Rod.
An A-bomb from
Steele
here.
swung on and driven to deep right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. He's done it again. Raul Ibanez has put on one of the great playoff displays of hitting. He drills one in the right field seats to win the game. Raul, so cool. Ball game over. Yankees win.
You know what I mean? But he had one of those for everybody.
Yeah.
Yankees win.
At the belt.
And apparently the only one who didn't like it.
The
The only one who or not, I shouldn't say didn't like it, but that gave him like any kind of pushback was actually Nick Swisher. Because on like I guess one of Nick Swisher's first home runs, he had said like, "Oh, jolly old Saint Nick" or something.
Yeah.
And I guess Swisher had said to him like, "Oh, I gotta be like an old fat guy. Like, I gotta be something cool." So then he came up with Swishalicious after that, and he loved that, and then he just stuck with Swishalicious. But
Yeah,
that was apparently the only one that he ever heard anything like even remotely negative about.
Weren't you
Well,
at this
he is
game?
Yeah.
one
This
hit
was
away.
Jeter's last game, right?
He is at
Or-
2009.
No, this
this
was
was when he got his
no.
3,000.
So
And
let's
there's
watch
the
this
chant
together
that you can hear in
because
the
this is
background.
Jeter's 3000s hit. And I was supposed to be there.
And it was a home
I'm
run,
on
right?
camera. I would have. My seat is on camera here, and I would have been fist fighting that guy for the ball. I'm not kidding. So watch. You're gonna see a guy in an NY shirt when they show the picture. He's right here on the right.
Derek Jeter
That would've been
homers
me.
to tie the game, and there it is. Hit number 3,000.
Right there.
Derek Jeter.
That guy right there in the NY shirt on the right hand side
Yeah.
here. That's Brian Moore. I would have had that ticket. I could have bought that ticket. But preseason. So before the season started, he bought season tickets. He didn't want to go to all the games. So he came into the Elks and put down all the games that he didn't want. And he was like selling the rest of the tickets. I called up my buddy Vin, who I usually go to a game with a year, and was like, hey, got tickets for, I think it was like July 12th or something like that, if I remember correctly. His sister was getting married that weekend. Couldn't do it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to pass on the tickets. Like, I don't got anybody to go with. I'm not going to grab them now. Sure enough, as the season rolls on, he gets closer to 3,000. Sure enough, comes down. He's got 5 hits away, I think, in that game. Because I think he had like 5 hits in that game. It was something stupid. And yeah, then I'm watching. So now I'm home and I'm like watching. And again, this goes to a core memory of mine. So now I'm watching and I'm like, damn, like I could have been there and seen that home run. My dad calls me. Hey, bud, you watching the game? Did you see what just happened? Yeah. Did you see where it was? I said, what do you mean? So it was a home run. He goes, yeah, but did you see where it was hit? I said, no. I said, he was outfield. He goes, won't you can pause it on your TV, right? You got the DVR over there. I said, yeah. Pause it, rewind, stop it, see Brian's face. one of those things that you can't ever take back because now that's a core memory for him. He's always going to remember being there, being next to the guy who caught the ball that close to get. I would have been fun. Me and that guy would have been rolling around on the ground. I wouldn't, if I'm that close to Jeter's 3000th, me and him are scrapping for it.
I'm pretty sure
you gotta want it more than I do.
I'm pretty sure he would have been willing to as well. If he
and we would have went. We would have went at it because I would have made him earn that. Because I mean, the money and the package and all the shit that man received afterwards would have been worth the brawl that you got into for it.
Maybe a broken nose or something, you'd be all right.
But it would have been all love because I would have hugged him and bought him a beer afterwards. It was nothing but love, my friend. But that ball is iconic. And to be honest, I never would have sold it. And I know that's hard to say. I probably would have gave back to Jeter. I probably would have taken whatever from the team, but I don't think I would have had it in the heart to sell it. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like that's like to put it on eBay or to go to like Sotheby's.
Yeah.
Like, as a true fan of the game, like I don't think I could have done that. Like, it's
That's
just
fair.
not in me. But at the same time, like I would have wanted to be that guy. I was diving for a foul ball at a preseason game this year on the concourse. Full on dive on concrete on the concourse to get a ball. I did that at a spring training game. If I'm doing that at spring training, imagine what I would do for Jeter's 3000. So, yeah, that, and just so everybody else could see it real quick. See the guy with the sunglasses. See the guy to the right with the NY shirt. That could have been me.
Right there.
Right there. That would have been me for Jeter's 3000th hit. So, as we wrap up the John Sterling talk here, it's just sad to me because it's now one more thing I'm going to have to remember that I'm no longer going to be able to experience. Like, I'm going to have to remember. I'm going to have to go back and listen to those YouTube things. I'm going to have to go and keep the memory alive rather than being able to catch his opinion or hear something new. Like, to be able to hear what his call would have been for George Lombard's home run, or to hear what his call would have been for even Ben Rice, who right now is absolutely destroying it. I know that other Yankee fans out there wish they could have heard that too. And that to me is where, again, it's just memories from my dad, memories from growing up, and it's sad when those things are just. But again, it just shows our age too. Because the older we get, the more we lose, and that's what sucks.
That's what I was gonna say. It's just it's part of getting older. Right?
I am old,
there's
man.
so many things that you realize that you're just never gonna hear again. Like,
I'm so young, but so old, but so young, but so old at the same time. It's so
it
like,
depends on not just
feel
the
great,
day,
but at the same time, like it is depends on the day.
To me, it doesn't even depend on the day. It depends on the moment in the day. Like, I could wake up feeling great and go to get out of bed and throw out my back. I mean, that's a whole nother podcast. So we could do that.
But we don't have to do that.
Rest in peace to John Sterling. And I think.
And one more thing to John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
That's now a drop, and we're going to have it to keep because I'm going to play it early and often.
By all means, my friend. By all means. That's why you control the board.
Exactly. So we can kick it off here. We can move to the next topic. I'll kind of let you go. So where do you want to go next? Because we kind of started with something I wanted to roll off of here. And shout out to Carl. Shout out to Carl Sr. Shout out to anybody else in the chat. If you guys were sharing experiences, sharing anything about John. True legend, unfortunately, gone. I can't even say too soon because, listen, the man lived a full life. But do you know that man? You want to hear one other interesting fact about John Sterling, sir? You're how old and you just had your first, right?
40 years. I turned 40 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after Stephanie was
Imagine turning 60 and having your first set of triplets.
Nope.
That man had no kids until 60 and had triplet girls at 60.
Nope.
So thankfully, I mean, he lived 27 years, got to watch them grow, to watch them, but still, that man became a father of triplets at 60.
And his swimmers were like, dude, we've been waiting all this time. Let's go.
60, dude. For triplets. Do you imagine, like,
I couldn't imagine triplets.
The energy you would have to have now for triplets.
Let alone, I couldn't imagine triplets 10 years ago, let alone now, let alone 20 years from now.
That's what I mean. Imagine 20 years. Go 20 years further and then have a set of
No effing way, man. No effing way. It's funny you say that, too, because it was literally, I just had a conversation. I found out my neighbor's son is, him and his wife are pregnant with a baby girl. And I'm like, my mom was telling me, I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. I'm like, why would he do that? She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, he has 2 sons that are 16 and older. Like, one's 16, one's like 19. I'm like, why would you restart the clock? She's like, no, their other kid and his wife is pregnant. I'm like, oh, well then congratulations, because I'm sorry. Like, far enough removed, I'm not resetting the clock. I'm not restarting all
John
this
didn't even
stuff.
have a clock.
Yeah,
he didn't have any previous to that. That was the crazy part.
At 60, no effort. At 60, I want to be as close to retired as humanly possible. My daughter will be in college or working a trade. I have no idea. I've talked to the man about it. I'm like, I'm not forcing her to go to a 4-year college and racking up $120,000 in debt. Like, I'm just not forcing her to do it. Like,
120 is now cost. 20 years from now cost.
Exactly, right? Like,
cost.
so I'm like, there's no effing way I'm forcing her to do that. So if she finds, something in a, in a trade that she likes, I'm all for it. But either way, I figured we'd hop into the NHL. I mean, look, the NFL tends to really dominate our conversations, right? Nothing really happened in the last week in the NFL.
We signed a D tackle, but to be honest, we talked about this pre-draft that they were already expected to do that.
Yeah, it was going to happen.
It was the guy from the Lions.
Yeah.
We knew it anyway, so it was kind of a...
And it's a body, right?
Yeah.
He's
good.
Yeah, he's a guy that you expect to contribute to the team. You don't expect him to be like a Pro Bowl player for you, but a guy that can play, 20 snaps a game, fill in the gaps. And Reeder's been good for years, right? A reliable guy. I mean, Dallas brought in Adoree Jackson today for a tryout or a workout. They have an open roster spot, so maybe a veteran depth in their secondary room, but that's not really very newsworthy. Like, there's really nothing NFL newsworthy. The only thing I saw that it might even be worth a mention is that apparently the NFL Referees Association, Referees Association, and the NFL are progressing in their talks to come up with a new CBA for them. Pretty much until they make referees full-time, they're always going to be a problem in the NFL. Shout out to Doobie, just joined us. Doobie, you didn't miss anything that you would probably find much interest in, being a Philly sports fan. We really just talked a little bit about John Sterling, the Yankees broadcaster who passed away earlier this week, or was it was end of last week?
Yesterday.
Right? Or it was just yesterday. Okay.
Yesterday, yeah.
So just passed away yesterday, or on Sunday, and really touched on that. But didn't really miss much because there really isn't any football news really worth diving into.
AJ Brown still hasn't been traded yet.
Yeah, that's post June 1, so we still got about three and a half weeks till that maybe becomes a topic. But what's crazy is after June 1, we're literally like a week, 2 weeks from rookie mini camps and OTAs.
Mm-hmm.
And
a month away from
and then a month from training camp, and before you know it, we're talking about football season again. So no big deal. We don't have much to talk about. We'll have plenty as the weeks go by. But NHL playoffs are live, up and running. Right, we're in the second round in the NHL playoffs. We're in the second round of the NBA playoffs, and
which, by the way, I'm going to throw it here first. The NHL playoffs. Connor Bedard. When is it McJesus here? When is it going to be his time? Like, when is he going to step up and actually win one here? Because I got to tell you, he's been falling.
You mean Connor McDavid?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said McNard. I'm like, who the hell is McNard? Sorry, I'm getting old. Hearing's going. Another thing.
Maybe I mixed him and Connor Bedard up. I don't think so. Maybe it's possible.
Either way, I know where you're going.
My mind's
I think that's a very fair question, right? And I think it is one of those things, right? Like we've touched on this multiple times through the years. Even if you have the best player in the world on your hockey team, you still need more.
By the way, Doobie's Flyers are still in it.
Yeah, down 2-0 to Carolina. They might get swept. They might get swept. Just bye, Philly. Sorry. Only reason I'm rooting for the Knicks because I can't root for Philly. But anyway, sorry, Doobie. You know we got love for you. But I genuinely think that you got to look around at the team and say, are they putting the pieces around him to help him be successful and help him get to where he needs to get to, right? Basketball to me is the only sport where you could have the best player in the world and put some average pieces around and they can still make the NBA. I mean, look at LeBron and the 06 or 08 Cavs. Like, Zogauskas was like his second best player, and one of his teammates was sleeping with his mom. I mean, but since he was the best player in the world, he dragged that team to the NBA Finals, right? You look at some of Brady's teams, right? Brady, arguably at the time, best quarterback in the league, right? Or we touched on this a couple weeks. This might be the better example. You look at the Packers over the last 30-something years, and you've had one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the league on your team for that entire stretch of time, and you've only won 2 Super Bowls, and you only made it to 4. Right? 4 in 30 years, that's one every 9 years, 8 years, right? Which a lot of fan bases would kill to be able to say they made that many. But when you had arguably the best quarterback, which is the most important position in the sport, for over 30 years and you got 2 Super Bowls to show for it, I feel like that's a little disappointing, right? You look at hockey and you got a guy like Connor McDavid. Like, yes, he is one of the best and at times maybe the best player in the world. He can't play defense and stop the puck from going into the net, right? You need a goaltender. You need some defenders. You need more. You can't just do it by yourself in hockey. Look at the Devils.
But the Oilers did do it.
They literally have the guy that wins us a gold medal. They were fighting for the number 1 draft pick, basically. With the draft lottery tonight, by the way, hockey fans, I had no idea. Eric, let me know tonight.
I think it's tonight. It could be, or it's this week.
It's this week at some point. Either way. So, little hockey tidbit news for fans like me and Eric, whose team didn't make the playoffs. But you need more. You just do. Yeah, you need more than just that guy. And I know where you're going, right? You're thinking Wayne Gretzky, Edmonton Oilers, right?
Well, that, and I'm also thinking that I don't want to be unfair with the comparison. And I want to just throw it at you because I think hockey's a little different of a sport. Like basketball, one guy can take it over. I think in football, in certain ways, one guy can take a quarterback, a running back,
a defensive, like a pass rusher can
somebody
just
can
completely
just wreak
ruin
havoc
a game
and ruin a game, or make a game, make a play, But I feel like, and even in baseball to an extent, one swing can change certain things.
It can, but if
like
you go
hockey,
5 for 5 with 5
guy,
home runs, but nobody else got on base, and your pitcher gives up 6 runs, you just blew a career day. Yeah. Right?
I get it, but at least you're playing all 9 innings. The difference with hockey is you're getting maybe at max, and I'm talking max, 30 minutes out of 60 of ice time.
And that's
I'm talking extreme.
That's when your season's on the line type of stuff. Yeah.
Like most of the time, it's 20 to 25 minutes. You're on the ice in a 60-minute game.
Yeah.
So you're trying to make the biggest impact you can. You're
barely playing a third of the game.
So that's where I feel like I don't want to be unfair to hockey, and that's why I was trying to go more the Gretzky comparison or more the other comparisons, because I'm like, well, there were greats that did take their teams to the promised land.
But look at the other players on those Gretzky teams. There's at least 1 or 2 other Hall of Famers on every Gretzky team.
And I got to be honest, though, there are some really great players playing alongside McDavid right now.
Yes, and that's not fair by me, right? I shouldn't downplay the other guys.
I do want to hope
team.
that we get Fife in here one of these nights to talk some hockey with us, because I'd love to get his opinion on it, because I feel like at this point with Connor, he's got to be advancing further in the playoffs. And that's where, to me, a first-round exit for him has to be a failure. Like, I get not winning a cup because it's hard to do. It's one of the hardest things in sports to do. But I think you got to get the hell out of the first round if you're that good. And you have those kind of aspirations on a yearly basis. Like, they're not like Edmonton's not looking at this as like a 2-3 year project. Like they're looking at this as like every year is now.
Yeah.
And when every year is now, that window starts to shorten eventually.
Very quickly, too.
Like, I think the pressure starting this year, like with this exit, has got to start getting ramped up on him and that team to start producing more and getting further, because at some point it may just get blown up instead.
Well, that's what I was going to say, right? Obviously, me and you, we are not Fife or Schmelrose, right? We're neither one of them when it comes down to hockey knowledge. But from your perspective, would you say that they'd be better off trying to turn over the roster and put other pieces around him? Or do you think it would be better, and I'm talking from his perspective, not the team, or do you think it would be better for him to go somewhere else and be the piece that other team is missing?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's a Canadian anyway. So I think that playing in Canada, like, I think that means something to him a little bit, in my opinion, like, to be fair.
That's fair.
So I think building around him, like, I don't think you're blowing it up and trading him. Like, I think you're building around him. I think you want him to stay as long as he wants to be there. Like, you want to keep him happy. Like, he's the guy to keep happy, in my opinion. So what I think you got to do is you have to find a great goaltender, put him back there between the pipes. Somebody that you know can stand on their head night after night and get those tough saves in big games, in big moments. You got to find that Connor Hellebuck. You got to find that guy. You got to find a Quick. You got to find a guy who can go on a playoff run. Like, that's what you got to find. Is you got to find the goalie. And I think you got to find some pieces. I think you got to, like, and then not that they don't have some already, but maybe you need to change them up.
Yeah,
and maybe, and again, that's what it is I don't think you need to find better, and maybe you just need to find a better fit.
Yeah, see, because to me, right, the only player or position in hockey where one guy can basically win it is the goalie, right? Because you have watched some goalies put on performances that are just. I think back a couple years ago, his name slipped in my head, but when the Kings beat the Rangers and then they beat the Devils, Quick, right? Mm-hmm. Those two World Series, those two Stanley Cup Finals, both finals, and really the whole playoff run each year.
I think that was Jonathan Quick. I'm not mistaken. If Carl or Carl Sr. in the chat could correct me, but I'm pretty sure it was Jonathan Quick with the Kings.
I think you're right. That man, basically, like, he was like, you guys get 2 goals. That's all you got to get me. I will not give up more than 1, and odds have it I might not even give up 1. But get me 2, and I can pretty much guarantee you a win. That was how good he played. Now, I don't know if he was that cocky about it, right, and walked into the locker room and was just like, guys, you get 2 goals. I got the rest covered. Like, that'd be pretty badass. Like, that'd be a hell of a story to tell. Like, you ever made the Hall of Fame and one of your teammates tells that speech, that's where I'm like, yo, hat off to you, respect, shit. But I don't picture him doing that. But either way, that man helped carry them through both those Stanley Cup runs. So I would say in hockey, if there is one position that can legitimately determine an entire playoff run and a Stanley Cup run, it's the goaltender. So can you upgrade the goalie by, like, and that's the thing, going from a goalie that gives up 3.5 goals a game to a goalie that gives up 2.5, that one goal can be a difference of 10, 15 wins in the regular season. It could be the difference of winning game 6 and moving on to the next round, or having to go to a game 7 and never knowing what can happen. Like, so I would say goalie is that position. But I will say, I think this is going to be one of those years in the Stanley Cup where your best teams are the 2 teams that make it. Because Colorado is, they're really kind of beating up on Minnesota through let me rephrase that. In the first game, I was very surprised as how well Colorado handled Minnesota because of how well Minnesota handled Dallas.
Colorado's for real.
They're ridiculous.
They're very good.
Colorado, and I think this might be the year. Sorry, Doobie, but I think this might be the year that Carolina finally gets to the Stanley Cup. I think this could be the year. They showed it. This is his 8th freaking season as a head coach. All 8 seasons, he's won at least 1 round, but he's never gotten the team to the Cup. We talk about streaks breaking the streak is really hard to do. Breaking that streak to me is broken not by not making the playoffs next year. It's broken by making the Stanley Cup this year. I think Carolina I just think this could be their year. I'm not making a prediction on winning it. I'm just right now telling you I genuinely think there is a good chance that Carolina is the team that represents the Eastern Conference.
I agree, but this is where they may break that streak, but they're not winning the cup. I don't think they're getting. I just look at Colorado as too dominant.
They are.
I look at Colorado the same way, and this could be a really good maybe transition here for us because I look at them, Colorado Avalanche, much like I look at
Ball game over.
not like John Sterling. Much like I look at as SGA in Oklahoma City. Like that kind of dominant. Like where I just look at them and I'm like, that's the team to beat. And if you're gonna be it like to be the champs, you're gonna have to beat the I just don't think that there's a team out there right now that's matching up well with Colorado. I don't think there's a team out there that scares Colorado. Like I don't think they're playing well in all facets of the game, and that's the thing to be like. That's the thing that should worry teams because they're not just like a good offensive team. They're not just good on the like. They're good all around,
and they've done it all year, right? Because a lot of times, when we get to the playoffs, right, we talk about who's hot going into the playoffs, right? That
they were.
I don't care what sport we're talking about, right? That is always a topic of conversation. Like what team is going in hot right now, and the reality of it is that they haven't had to be hot. They've been consistent. And when you're consistent, you don't need to worry about running into the other hot team. You know what I mean? Like that's the level you're talking about. Like you don't have
21 points. Next closest was 112. They ran away with the league. And then in the East, it was only like 109, I think was the top.
113.
Or 113.
Yeah, Carolina.
Ran away with it. 8 points better than everybody else.
I mean that's basically 3 wins past everyone in an 82.
4 wins.
I thought.
2
yeah.
points, yeah.
So, but like you're also talking. I think that's probably the other. I think that if you want to really point out how they were better than everybody, plus 99 goal differential, and your second closest is plus 59.
Nearly double.
You're literally talking 40 more goals in an 82 game season, right? Like that's a half a goal a game more than any other team in the league. Like, but to your point, right? Like that also means defensively, right? They played extremely well, right? So they gave up 203 goals on the year, and from what I'm seeing at a quick glance, the closest to them was 231.
Yeah, so they gave up almost 30 less goals.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
so that goes to the point you're making, though, right? Like, it's not just they're a good offensive team. Hey, they're a very good defensive team. No, they're covering every base in their consistency. I'll tell you one thing: the NHL, though they're not huge markets, I think the NHL could really benefit from like a Colorado Carolina Stanley Cup because you really would be putting your 2 best teams out there. And kind of different styles of play because Carolina.
But the problem is it's 2 small markets. You got Colorado and you have Carolina, so you've got to get the coast to really care. You've got to get the New Yorks. You've got to get the LAs. You've got to get people to care, and that's where, to me, as great as the hockey is, are people going to tune in for it? Now, I do think that hockey's getting more and more popular.
Yes,
and it is. I do think that even with those smaller markets, it's probably still going to do pretty decent. But I just don't know if it'll get the same eyes on it if it had, say, a Kings in there. If the Rangers or the Devils. If one of the bigger market teams was in there, obviously could draw more eyes. But that's the only thing where I look at it and I'm just like, oh, as great as these teams are and as great as we could sit here and know they are. And like you talk about Carolina for the last 8 years and you talk about, we just talked about all of what the Avalanche did. But then you think about it and you think about people that aren't us. You're just a casual fan going, Colorado versus Carolina.
Yeah, like
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
like I don't even know if I'd watch that if
And
it
I
was a
hate to say
football
that
game.
because to be honest with you, we've talked about it honestly for more than 10 years now. That the NHL playoffs are the best playoffs in sports. And it's weird to say because we spend so much
unpredictability,
time
yeah.
talking about football. We spend so much time talking about these other sports, and every year we come back and say the same thing.
Yeah.
The best atmosphere, the best playoffs, the best matchups, game to game, are in the NHL.
Yeah. Well, like I said, right? Carolina, they're up 2-0 on Philly after Philly managed to hold on against Pittsburgh in Game 7. And you have the other Philly team who is now down 1-0 to your New York Knickerbockers.
Yeah. So
And shout out to my boys Justin and Noose. They were at the game last night.
wow, nice.
17th row. Capped Doozer, but says "Hey, cuz." So I'm going to say
my
"Hey,
cousin
cuz."
Amy.
Oh, okay.
That's my cousin Amy. Shout out to my cousin.
Because my cousin was in last week. I'm like, did he change his username? Like, whatever.
No, but they're both in Georgia. My cousin's in Georgia as well.
Oh, nice. All right, let's go.
So yeah,
Where in Georgia though? That's.
she is in. I don't remember the town off the top of my head. That is an awesome shot of it.
Yeah. So my boys, shout out to Justin and Noose, give them a little camera time. But yeah, they were at the game last night.
I'm jealous because I've actually, to be honest with you, the one game that I've never seen is a Knick game. I've been to a ton of Nets games. I've been to a ton of basketball games.
Oh,
Like,
the Nets were so easy when they played in Newark.
I've been to a Ranger game. I've been to Devils games. I've been to tons of Giant Jet games. I've been to Yankee games, Met games. I've been everywhere. I've never been to a Knick game. And as big a fan as I am, I've been a fan of the team forever. I've never gone to. I've gone to a, like I said, I've gone to a Ranger. I've gone to other games. I've never gone to a Knick game.
Well,
so I'm a little bit jealous, and that's awesome because you know what? They got to see something historic, which is really cool. The Knicks just keep blowing out teams. I mean, when you were listening to people before this series, or before it started, Joel Embiid's the best player, and then they have the second best player in Paul George and Maxey, and all these guys are like on paper the 76ers are actually the better team, and Embiid's a former MVP, and when he plays at this kind of level, they can't be stopped, and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, for the fourth straight game, the Knicks have held an opponent to less than 100 points. So we
that
talk
sounds
about
like 90s playoffs.
We talk about we talk about Colorado dominating. We're talking about the domination they had all season. The Knicks did not dominate all season, but when they wanted to, they showed up and played. And they could play as good as anybody in the league, and they could play with anybody in the league. It's a fact. And what they're doing to teams now, because I think what happened is they got a little embarrassed after games 2 and 3 against the Hawks, where they were like, shit, game 2 got stolen from us. Shit, game 3, we had to come back. We almost won. What are we doing here? Like, people are looking at us like we might get beat by the Hawks right now. Like, I think they had a come to Jesus moment. Like, I think they had a little self-reflection in the mirror as a team where they stood in the locker room in the mirror and looked at themselves and said, the fuck? Like, what are we doing here? And I think from there, they just said, fellas, we got to turn it on. If we don't turn it on now, when are we gonna? And from that moment, from game 4 of the Hawk series through game 1 right now, the domination is just absurd.
Feeling better about that Mike Brown hire?
I'm just feeling better about the team. Not necessarily Mike Brown himself, but like I just feel better about the team because where I give Mike Brown credit and where I look at him is, okay, I don't know if Tibbs would have done the same. And that's where I have to compare it to what they had before. So, again, I can't just say, oh, I'm not happy with Mike Brown. No. I have reasons here. Reason I'm happy with him. He made adjustments. He adjusted what they were doing on offense. Started running the ball through Cat, making him almost like a point forward type thing. Triple-double machine. The man loves it. The offense is thriving. Great choice. Defensively. Made adjustments. They were getting beat certain ways, doing things weird. He made some adjustments, some things he didn't normally do. Started playing some different team packages, started doing some different things. And you know what? The defense tightened up. Everybody got better. And they started to dominate on that side of the ball too. So I look at it and how the hell can you hate a coach who's willing to admit that what I'm doing right now ain't working? So what can we do differently?
Yeah.
And make those adjustments.
Yes.
I can't ask for any more, so I'm not going to sit here and call him the greatest head coach ever. I'm not going to sit here and give him praises on Coach of the Year or anything. But I'm going to sit here and tell you, I trust the man as a coach, because if you can look at yourself and honestly say, I fucked this up, screwed up here. Like, we got to do something different and make the adjustment and not just have the ego to be like, no, this is my way and we're going to do it. If we do it my way, we're going to win. No. It's not about that. It's about what's best for the team and how does the team best function. And that's what Mike Brown got right. That's where Mike Brown looked at it and he said, guys, this isn't working. Made adjustments. And that's the credit I give him that I don't think I could have gave Tibbs. Because I think Tibbs is a guy who would have been stuck in his ways.
That's
where I have to say, am I happier with Mike Brown right now than I was with Tibbs at this point last year? And I'm going to say yes, and it's only because I've seen him make adjustments that I don't think I would have seen Tibbs make.
Yeah, Tibbs has always been a very
and I love Tibbs, so this is not a knock on him. I like him.
I love Tibbs too, and
he's a great coach.
I'll mention really quickly why I love Tibbs so much, and then get back to my point. So apparently Chicago's kicking the tires on bringing Tibbs back.
Okay.
I'd be more
bad.
than okay with that, because at least you could take the average roster they have and know that he's going to get 100% out of them every night. Like, his players respected him, but the problem was he didn't believe in using the depth of his bench, and that
he trusted who he trusted, and that was it.
And every year he's been a head coach, it hurt him. It's one of it. Look, would Derrick Rose probably gotten injured one way or another? Most likely, right? That shit doesn't happen just because this one thing happened. With how physically athletic he was, at some point the knee or calf, something was going to blow, because you're freakishly athletic, and it's bound to happen to most people. It doesn't have to anyway. But Tibbs is very tunnel visioned on what he believes will lead to the success he's trying to achieve, and that is not a recipe that's going to get you to the top of the mountain. That recipe will get you up the mountain. But it's not going to get you to the top where you're looking down on everybody else and everybody's looking at you. I think what you're seeing out of Knicks, and it kind of goes back to what we talked about last week. The Knicks knew they were the better team. Every game other than one, they had a double-digit lead, and the games that they lost, they blew it. The first game that they won, they let it get closer than it should have. And you could sit there and go back as a coaching staff and as a player when you're watching film and realize, we took our foot off the gas. We let them stand back up. Whatever sports metaphor you want to freaking use, they watch those tapes and they realize none of this should be taking place.
They realize that every time they pulled Cat and Brunson off the floor, we got demolished. That kind of stuff. And as soon
as you realize it, Mike Brown made the adjustment, execution, take Atlanta out, done. But what does he do? He didn't follow the same exact book that he used to beat Atlanta in game 1 against Philly. He realized that Mitchell Robinson is a great way to slow down Joel Embiid, right? If Joel
Embiid pulls some shit like he did,
but then you realize, hey, if we put OG and we put him on Maxey, well, now our best defender is on their best ball handler. Well, they don't got anybody. After we eliminate those two, they got nobody that can touch Brunson. They got nobody that can touch Karl Anthony Towns, right? And
how underrated is OG though? Like he's one of the most underrated, under-talked about players in the entire league.
Extremely underrated. He is very, very good at the game of basketball. And what I like about him the most is that, and this was one of the things I always loved about Jimmy Butler. His career was built off of his defensive ability, and he got better on offense, because that's the one thing in basketball. You either can move your feet and stay in front of the guy you're guarding, or you can't. I can't teach you how to slide your feet. You either can do it or you can't. I can help you with your agility in doing it. I can help you get a little faster with it. I can help you with, but the bottom line with defense and basketball, it's pretty damn simple. You keep your eyes on their stomach because they can't fake where their stomach is going. I will never forget being taught that, and ever after I got taught that, very rarely did anybody ever get past me on a basketball court. Now, speed-wise, I didn't have that. But anyway, but just like Jimmy Butler, he got better year over year over year as an offensive player and just continued to be the defensive cornerstone that he knew he could let his teams rely on. Because the bottom line is, if you can give me 11, 12 a game, but I can put you on their best offensive player, and instead of them scoring 30, you're going to hold them to 18, I'm good with you being on the court and only give me 10, 12 points a game. And that's who he was when he first started his career. Mm-hmm. Now he can drop 25, 30 on you any night he wants to and still hold your best player to 18, under 20 in the game. That was an amazingly executed trade. I think it was last season they traded for him.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Like, that was a perfect piece to add into this team. And I think when you look at the Knicks, now that Boston's out, I don't know who in the East can take them in 7 games.
Ooh, here's an interesting sports question. Intermingling sports here for half a second. So we always talk about Howie Roseman with the Eagles and how probably the best GM in the game.
Yeah, I think most people would agree with that.
If Leon Rose is able to put together a team and win a title with the Knicks, is he the greatest GM in sports? Because you look at some of the moves, trades, acquisitions, signings, everything else he's been able to do to put this team together to bring New York a championship for the first time since 73, I want to say. And from where this Knick team was when he took it over after Phil Jackson left, and they were just the
such a mess.
Absolute shit show that they were, I might have to declare him the best GM in sports. I'm gonna put it out there. I think he'd have to be in the conversation. He's got to be up there. He's got to be up there with the Brian Cashmans. I
think you have a right to say, let's put that name in the conversation. But Harry Roseman has had his team to 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years.
I'm not going to discount Cashman. Cashman, to me, as much as I go back and forth on whether or not, I think he's run his course.
Yeah, I get.
He goes down as one of the greatest.
Really quick, since we're kind of intermingling sports, your cousin requested a Roll Tide, and we deserve to. Well, you deserve giving her Roll Tide because she
Roll Tide.
There you go.
Roll
All
Tide,
right. I even do it too. I don't have any issues with Alabama. I'm not a big college sports fan, so Roll Tide. But. Look, I think the Knicks have
She's a Steeler fan as well, just in case you're a runner. Steeler fan for football, for the NFL.
I'm sorry to hear that. I can't talk shit to anybody as a football fan, but I think the Knicks have a pretty clear path. I don't think the Pistons. I think the Pistons can give them a good series, but I don't think the Pistons can beat them in 7. I don't think the Sixers are going to beat them in 7. So I think they have a pretty clear path.
I think they have a clear path as long as they keep their foot on the gas
and stay healthy. Right, health is last year. That was a big thing. As long as
Mike Brown stays the way he is, stays humble, and stays willing to make adjustments and change, you have to be willing to look at things because the playoffs are an ebb and flow. It's a whole nother season almost when you get to the playoffs because you figure you've played 82 games to get there, whether it's NHL or NBA, doesn't matter which league you're talking about here for us. You get to the playoffs. You've got to win 4 rounds of the playoffs. Each of those could go 7 games. You're looking at almost 28 games, another close to 30 games.
Yeah.
That's
it puts you at 110 if you played all 82.
Yeah, but what's that, 30, 40% of an actual season? Like, you almost have another season after the season.
That's why you don't want it to go 7.
That's why you don't. So that's why I think the Knicks have to keep their foot on the gas because guys like Cat, guys like OG, guys like Mitchell Robinson need the rest, my man. They need it.
Especially Cat, the bigger guy, and Brunson, because Brunson plays a very physical brand of basketball. Tell me that Mitchell Robinson and OG with their health issues don't need it. They need it. Give those people all the rest. Even Josh Hart. Josh Hart's one of those guys. He gives you 110% every single game. Josh Hart is not a guy that takes a playoff.
He is all effort. Josh Hart is to me the like glue of this team. Like he's the guy
he's the try hard.
He is the try hard.
And he doesn't
he's
get,
the guy that you could throw in. He's going to give you max effort every time.
It kind of sucks because like outside of Knicks fans, not a lot of people give Josh Hart the respect he deserves. The man can give you anything you need from. I mean, he's not going to dominate a game as a scorer, but he can still give you 15, 20 points. Like
I'm gonna die on this hill. Out of everybody on this team, he's my favorite Nick. Like
I'm not surprised by that at all.
He's my favorite acquisition. He's the guy I enjoy watching most on the court. And I know Cat can give us triple doubles. I know Brunson is awesome. I just can't help it.
You love the tryhards.
I got heart for heart, and the tryhards get me.
The tryhards get you. It doesn't matter what sport it is. The tryhard gets
it. He's the guy who coming from. I didn't know what to expect. We got him from Portland. I was like, I don't know. I heard about the Villanova connections. I heard he was a tryhard guy, and I'm like, well, let's see. And I watched him play. Man, effort,
all day, every day,
effort. That's all I care about, man. You go out there and you just give 110% every day, all day. What else can anybody ask of you?
He reminds me of Draymond Green in his younger days without all the drama.
Yeah,
like because that was what Draymond Green was for the earlier Warriors teams, right?
Early Warriors.
But he was still a walking drama. He was basically like a combo of Hart and Dennis Rodman, right? Like he was basically, I am going to give you everything I got on the court, but I'm also going to be a royal pain in the ass for everybody, right? Like he doesn't do that to you. So I think the Knicks are in a really good spot. I mean, the Sixers will probably win a game. Maybe two.
Listen,
so I can see.
I'm not going to sit here and count them out.
I'll probably put this Knicks in 6.
But I'm going to tell you right now,
if
they're on the way out and Embiid pulls some bullshit, we're going to have a rant here. We're going to have a serious rant because, to me, I think that's what derailed the Knicks' playoff chances. What was it? I forget whether it was last year or 2 years ago when he hurt Robinson. When he pulled Robinson down and hurt his ankle, and then from there, he was out the rest of the series, and the Knicks just didn't have the horses from there to keep going, and ended up getting beaten by Indiana.
Yep.
That was because of Joel Embiid being dirty.
Well, yeah, when he grabbed his ankle while he was on the ground.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I remember that.
And
that was
to me,
2 years ago.
I don't want to see that happen. That's my biggest worry, is that this gets to game 6, third quarter, it's almost over, and some dumb shit like that
Joel
happens.
Embiid's all pissy and a sore loser. I mean,
you know
I
what I mean? Like
understand.
that's where, and that's my biggest concern in this whole thing. Other than that, like, I think it should be a hell of a series. I'm calling it Knicks in 6. I think the Sixers could get 2.
And that has a nice ring, Knicks in 6, right? Like it rolls right off.
Listen, I'm hoping they sweep. I'm rooting for a sweep every game. But realistically, I'm going to tell you, I think that it's probably 6. And yeah, other than that, though, Cade Cunningham, serious player, has pieces around him. But I look at this as I think the 76ers are a bigger test for the Knicks than the Pistons are. That's where I land with this the whole Eastern Conference in general, because I think whoever wins this series, so I think it's the same for 76ers. If the 76ers somehow come back and beat the Knicks, I think they beat the Pistons. I don't think the Pistons are ready. We've talked about this. I think they're just a year or two away. They're too young. They haven't gelled yet fully. So they were able to make the comeback on Orlando. Great. They may even get past the Cavs here and get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think they're experienced enough yet. And I don't care if it's the Knicks or the Sixers. I don't think I don't think the Pistons are there yet. And that being said, I think whoever wins this Knicks 76ers series wins the East. I think this is the East right here.
Well, like I said, right? That's how I felt about if it was Boston, New York, right? Boston losing Tatum before Game 7 just crushed them. But I think the Knicks are pretty much if the Knicks stay healthy, I think the Knicks are a lock to be into the NBA Finals. When you look at the West, Minnesota beating San Antonio. Minnesota being able to eliminate Denver without Anthony Edwards or Dante DiVincenzo.
But then Anthony Edwards back for game one after they said that he was going to miss weeks.
Yeah, that's the initial report.
Playing like a man possessed.
Yeah.
I'm almost wondering, did he anybody check his flight records? Did he happen to make a little pit stop in Germany real quick or something? Get a little platelet action going on?
You never know. I mean, you can find out, but
I wonder how many people are because you want to know what? I've heard a lot of people going, "Oh yeah, he's back really early. I didn't expect him back," but I don't hear a lot of people talking about where he went.
What's funny is Anthony Edwards obviously is their star. Rudy Gobert is what's helping carry them here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like basically shutting down Jokic. Game one basically shuts down Wemby. I mean, look, he's not going to drop 30 for you pretty much ever, but the man will give you 4 to 8 blocks in a game almost every. Like his defensive presence really.
He could give you more if you leaned on him offensively.
Yeah, but he's not a guy. He's not squaring up and shooting a jump shot. That's not Gobert. Like that's not.
No, but again, but it used to be you could play inside out. You could get guys down
body
in the
him
paint.
up a little bit. I mean,
I was a paint player. Like I would dominate.
Physically, Rudy should be pushing Wemby everywhere. I mean, he's got to have him by like 80 pounds.
That's what I mean.
He's still fit as shit, right? I think both series in the West are going to be good. I really don't know who to pick between Minnesota and San Antonio.
I'll be honest, I don't think it matters because I think after they beat each other up, I don't think either of them are getting by the Thunder.
Yeah, the Thunder are a problem. If the Thunder stay healthy, they're coming out of the West, and I don't think LeBron and even if Luka comes back for this series, I don't think they have enough. And the Thunder are kind of like we were talking about Colorado, right? Like they're not like okay in one area and then really good in another. They're very good on both sides of the ball. And look, LeBron, I mean, they're favored by 15.5 points in game one tonight at 8. Like, I mean, that's a pretty big spread for a playoff game. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I haven't played.
For a second round playoff game. This isn't a 1 versus 8 here.
Yeah. So I think you're Thunder. I think you're pretty spot on, right? And if it is Thunder Knicks in the NBA Finals, there's going to be a lot of people that learn about the OKC Thunder. Because that bigger market's gonna help bring some viewers that never watched OKC play a game unless they played the Knicks in the regular season. And for all you know, half their team was on.
It would
load
be
management.
the best thing for SGA. Be the best thing to ever happen.
Oh
to him.
god, especially if he dropped like a 50 or 60 dog in MSG. That's a way to write your name in the book.
But that's what I mean. Like you're iconic.
Yeah.
It would be
no question about it.
It would be one of those things that it would It would be another devastating loss for us Knicks fans.
Yeah.
But either way,
I'd
be happy to get there. And you know where else I'm happy to get to?
The dinner table. Yes, sir.
Because it is Cinco de Mayo. My wife made some taco shit.
Oh.
So I'm ready to go eat.
My wife already ate. She texted me. She's like, Stephanie's down. I ate something. I'm going to sit and watch a show and then wash some dishes.
By the way, I want to shout out everybody who joined us today. Shout out to Carl Sr. for joining us early. Shout out to Doobie. Shout out to my cousin Amy who joined us tonight. Shout out to your cousin down in Georgia as well, if they were listening down there. Shout out to Noose and Justin. Shout out to everybody out there.
I'm telling you right now, if you really want to go to a Knick game, hit up Justin. He'll go with you. He's a psycho. He loves going to those things.
I might.
Yeah.
I might. Listen, shout out to Joey, because I know out there, even though Joey's not here with us, he still was here in spirit with that John Sterling talk. So shout out to him as well. And yeah, just keep enjoying
Taco
these
Tuesday
playoffs.
and Cinco de Mayo the same day, and I'm gonna go home and eat Chinese food and have a glass of water.
My friend, back to our age, because we are past the age of going out for Cinco de Mayo.
I am going. Are you kidding me? There, a bunch of people from my job were going out for a happy hour. I'm like, y'all have fun.
My sister, though, she planned it right. So it's my nephew's birthday coming up. He's gonna be 3. She took him out to Great Wolf Lodge today. And so she's out of Great Wolf Lodge. So she was said to my brother-in-law Ray, he's in charge of putting the kid down, and she's going downstairs for a margarita to enjoy Cinco de Mayo. So she had it right, at least. She was like, all right, got the kid put away. I'm going to go have a drink down at the bar, and then I'm going to come upstairs. She goes, again, she's, Not gonna get hammered, but she was like, I just want one. She's like, I don't want to be hungover with a kid tomorrow either, but it's
one.
Cinco de Mayo, and I want a margarita.
Well, your cousin says she loves you. Really appreciate
Love her too.
supporting us.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, follow, share, do all those free fun things for us if you haven't already. You can follow us at Champscast on Facebook. You can follow us at Champscast on TikTok. You can follow us at Champscast on...
And if you don't,
Dave's coming after
I'm
you.
coming after you. Anybody that watches is like, Dave, you're probably like the least intimidating person I've ever met in my life, but sure.
That's Champscast with Z, throwing it back to our sports zone heritage. Other than that, my friend, why don't you tell them where they can find you? Because they can find our unofficial third co-host, Louis Aussie Dude. Can't see a picture of him right now, but he's usually in here bothering us. He's probably crying downstairs because he couldn't get up here today. Follow him at Louis Aussie Dude on Instagram. Follow me at The Living Legend on X. Follow Dave where?
David Hastings 23 on X, formerly known as Twitter, and D Hastings 23 on that Instagram. I'm pretty boring on Instagram, pretty boring on Twitter, but feel free to follow me anyway. And until next week.
I'm leaving you guys not just with a little music.
Do it.
One more iconic call from the man.
Yankees win. The Yankees win.